Hello all, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to discuss what are the data types in Python. Let's get started. So what are data types in programming languages? Data types are used to define the data that you are giving inside a program. It helps the system understand the type of data that you explicitly want to define in a program. So as per the definition we have here, it says using data types in programming means explicitly defining or specifying the type of data that a variable, constant, or object can hold or represent within a program. The system does not understand the type of data that you are giving to it. For example, you give a 6. The program might understand it as a hexadecimal, or it might understand it as a string. So when we give a particular value to it, we specify to the program that it is a numerical data type so that it understands that and it performs the explicit operations that are defined for numerical values. When you declare a variable in a programming language, you often define its data type. So that is the primary reason why we use data types in programming. So we have a few examples with us here. So we have x is equals to 5, where x is type integer, name is equals to Alice, where name is of the type string, is valid equals to true, where is valid is of the type boolean. But how does the system understand that? Every single data type has a set of rules that it follows for the variable to understand that it is of that particular data type. For example, when we see here, 5 is not given within the double quotes. Hence, it is also a numerical value. Hence, the system directly understands that the x that is defined over here, this particular variable, is now of the type integer. Name, whereas, is given in double quotes, which explicitly defines that it is of a string value. So name is now of the type string. When you give a value for say true or false for a particular variable, then it is automatically defined that it is of the type boolean. Since Python is a dynamically typed language, when you assign a particular value to a particular variable, the data type of that particular variable is automatically picked up by the program. In Python, by assigning values to the variables, you implicitly assign a data type to them. For example, if we see in the previous languages, C or C++ or Java, you specifically define the data type of a variable. You say int C, which means the variable C is of the type int. But that is not the case in dynamically typed data in dynamically typed languages. We see that x is equals to 5. It is automatically defined that x is an integer variable. If you say x is equals to 5.0, it is automatically defined that it is a float value. We will go one by one into all the different types of data types that we have. For now, let us understand that in Python, you need not define the type of data type of a variable. It is automatically defined when you assign a value or assign type of value to it. So why are data types so important in programming languages? Data types helps the system allocate the memory for that particular variable efficiently. Every single data type has a certain amount of bits that it encapsulates that help the system understand and allocate that part of the memory for that particular variable. It also helps enforce rules and constraints on the data type on how it can be manipulated and used. It also helps determine what are the different types of operations that can be performed on the variable or data based on its data type. Here we have 5 major data types in Python. The numerical data type, which encapsulates int, float, and complex. The dictionary data type, the Boolean data type, the sequence data type that encapsulates string, list, and tuples. And then we have the set data type. We will go with understanding every single one of them in the upcoming slides. So what are the numerical data types in Python? First, we have int. The int data type is used to represent whole numbers, both positive and negative. For example, we say a is equals to 1. We say b is equals to -1. Both of these values are of the data type int. Hence, a and b are of the data types int. Next is float. A floating data type is used to represent floating point numbers with decimal precision. So for any variable that you are defining that has decimal points in them, it is of the data type float. For example, c is equals to 1.5. So c is of the data type float. Next, we look at the most used data type in the fields of research, that is the complex data type. The complex data type is used to represent numbers with a real and an imaginary part. For example, we say d is equals to a plus bi. So this particular data type is a complex data type. What are the sequence data types? So we have three different sequence data types in Python. The first is a string. The string data type is used to represent immutable sequence of characters such as words or sentences. So how do we define a string? Let us take an example. We say a equals to, we start our quotes, we say a, b, c. We close the quote. Now a is a defined string. It can also contain any different kinds of values. So if I say I am a cat, anything that is defined in the quotations becomes a string. Now b is an immutable string. Next, we come to the list. The list data type represents ordered mutable sequence of elements. We define a list with square braces. A list can contain any type of data type inside it. For say, a equals to, we can have numerical values 1, 2, 3, -1, pointed values. We can have a string inside of a list, and also we can also have a list inside a list. So that is how a list is defined. Now we go to the tuple data type. The tuple data type is used to represent ordered immutable sequence of elements. So how is a list different from a tuple? Tuple is defined with rounded braces, and one thing that it is different from the list is that a list can add or delete values. A new value can be entered inside of a list, but it cannot be done. No value can be added or deleted from a tuple. Whatever is defined while the creation of a tuple is done stays with the tuple. For example, we have a tuple where we have values inside of a tuple. So the tuple A is defined and no addition or deletion from the tuple can be performed. Next is the set data type. So a set data type is used to represent an unordered collection of unique elements. When we define a set, we define it by doing A equals to set of, within the rounded braces, you can have any number of elements of a set. Set is primarily used to perform operations such as union, intersection, and a difference of a set of different kinds of elements. Next, we look at the dictionary data type. What is a dictionary data type? The dictionary data type is used to represent key value pairs. It allows with efficient retrieval of values using the keys. So how is a dictionary defined? We say A equals to, in the curly braces, we define values where A is P. So this is how we define a dictionary, where A is the key and then B is the value. We have key value pairs in a dictionary. Hence, The retrieval of information in a dictionary is much simpler than those of lists, tuples, or sets because there you will have to know the position of the value. Here, when you give a key, you will be able to retrieve the value no matter where it is in this whole set of data. Now we look at the Boolean data type. The Boolean data type is used to find truth values, meaning true or false. When we say Boolean, we define it as A equals true, B is equals to false. So when we say true, it returns the value 1, and if it is a false, it returns the value 0. So usually Boolean values are used in logical operations and conditional statements. When we give a condition, if A is greater than B, if it is true, it will return a true value, which means 1. If it is a false, it returns false value, which is a 0. So Boolean data type is used for logical operations and conditional statements. In conclusion, we see that Python is diverse, it is flexible, and is very useful for the real-world applications. Diverse in the sense Python offers all these different kinds of data types that can be used to cater for different programming needs. And then it is very flexible. Python is the most flexible language out there that is unique, has its own properties, and it enables powerful data manipulation. It is also used in real world applications where you understand Python data types for building robust programs and applications that are used in the real world. That's all for today's video. I hope you liked that video. If you really like it, go ahead and click that like button. Comment if you have any doubts. Share with your friends to learn more Python, and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye.